everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Fourtress, of a podcast about movies, TV shows, video games, and lots of pop culture and nerd things. My name is Oscar. I'll be one of your hosts today. And with me, per usual, you know him as Brian, also known as The Beard. I mean, yeah, and New Reliable, and the Dragon Ball Z villain,
who the fuck am I?
Mr. Negative, on a Dragon Ball, or Spider-Man villain, Mr. Negative, on a Dragon Ball Z Redemption arc. And you also have Devin, also known as The Brains, and Mr. Nowhere. How y'all doing today?
My favorite part is how you flubbed through all of that. We're just going to keep it. We're just not. No second cuts.
Oh, yeah, no.
On this podcast.
No, absolutely not. There's no time for that. There's no time for that.
We actually record this while riding the subway. We can't make any cuts.
Sorry if this is your first listen.
I'm walking right now.
We're usually slightly better than that, but only ever so slightly. Yeah, it's just the three of us for this week. Because obviously Alex, being the dad who is not here, has zero time to watch anything. Although he did watch The Acolyte. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
But yeah. So this one he will not be here, but he'll be here at some point in the future of the next couple episodes. Yeah. But as usual, listeners, you can check the time codes and for any spoilers or just skip sections or whatever you want to do. But with that being said, guys, should we just get to it and get to our first segment of the week?
Let's fucking do it.
News talk.
Well, yeah, I should be not that excited about
sad headline to start.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's really unfortunate for almost all of the news today is not great. In what seems to be just constant in our lives at this point. We have another massive set of layoffs. This time it is happening to Bungie, the developer behind the original Halo games, as well as right now most people know Destiny and Destiny 2, the Destiny franchise. This was told on Bungie.net by their boss Pete Parsons, who we'll talk about in a bit as well. Saying it's quote, "Today's a difficult and painful day." They laid off 220 people, 70% of the studio's workforce. That's not great. That's not great.
I mean, it's a broken record at this point. We all know that this is going to continue happening. This is far from the end. All studios, and it's I wouldn't say it's all industries. There's a lot of industries, but creative industries especially, and especially the game industry, just because the way things are right now. And of course, it's just because everyone got too big of heads. Their big bets didn't pay off, and somehow the people that lose their jobs aren't the people that made the big bets, but the people that keep the company alive itself. So I know we're going to talk about the CEO, but the CEO is allowed to buy $2 million worth of cars and not lose his job, even though he literally sucked as a CEO, and that's why these jobs have to be cut. But all those people lose their jobs, and he doesn't.
And that's the other major part of this story is that this came out like the same day or within the next couple of days after the announcement of the layoffs. Was that apparently he's a horrible boss, which is not surprising when it's just this constant we hear of executives being like failing upward, and just even if he resigns or whatever from Bungie, he'll easily just go to another company because he's got a resume and continue to make millions of dollars and fuck over people who don't deserve.
And that's my thing. Small rant. I gotta have a small rant right here because we talk a lot about this. Yeah. We have the Elon Musk and people like that. All those people that like put capital into things, and then people thinking they're the reason these things exist. We think that Tesla was made by Elon Musk and not the engineers that work for Elon Musk. The situations like that. And then when you always talk about how like we don't need CEOs or CEOs should make as much money as they do, when literally your whole job is to make the company grow, and you fail to do that, and you also make millions of dollars for that, your job should be high risk, high reward. You should lose your job if you're not able to make those numbers because you failed at your job. These people didn't fail at their job. They did their job just fine, and they lose their job. If I do bad at my job, I lose my job. Why does that not work for CEOs? That makes no fucking sense. It's so goofy to me. Based on what I'm saying, fuck all CEOs. Long story short.
I mean, and like this is just a lot of these little pieces of the puzzle are starting to come together in terms of essentially Sony buying Bungie. What, last year, or was it last year or 2 years ago at this point, when they bought it for $3.6 billion, essentially saved Bungie from almost dying off, going bankrupt. I don't know. Apparently in that when Sony bought them, there may have been some flubbing of some numbers and some overselling of how well Bungie was actually doing as a company.
And it doesn't really help that, like, I guess they weren't putting out anything actively when they were bought, but then the next thing that came out was Lightfall, and Lightfall, that DLC for Destiny, was pretty bad, so it didn't do very well, and their numbers were atrocious that year. Unfortunately, Final Shape was actually really good and people liked it a lot. But I guess at that point it was too late because the next quarter numbers weren't looking good enough yet. And that's kind of what left them in this ballpark. And it's so sad that when you make a bad game, you lose your job. You make a good game, you lose your job.
It is one of the rare instances where a former employee is defending like the big mega company that bought them. They're like, it's not Sony's fault. Sony actually did a good thing when they bought us. It's not their fault. Our management sucks.
Rare moment indeed.
Rare moment. Yeah, this is a bummer. Like all of these are. It's quite a bummer, especially when you hear the stuff about their actual manager and supposed leader of this group. Yeah, it sucks a lot. And hopefully all those people land on their feet and other things happen. Apparently Sony buying them also like kept a couple hundred people with jobs because they got transferred into under the Sony umbrella rather than being just under the Bungie umbrella. But yeah, so and then another piece that came out a couple days later was that Bungie is apparently reportedly, this is only we don't know how true this from Bloomsburg, said that they're not working on Destiny 3, which is not a good sign, I would imagine, and that they're just going to be doing like smaller little Destiny 2 updates that may or may not be free. That's not good either.
I was about to say, what is the future of Bungie as a whole then? Are we just going to can Bungie? Imagine not making Halo anymore, and then 343 is what continues to exist, but not Bungie, the creator of the, objectively better Halos.
That would be kind of nuts. Yeah. That would be kind of crazy.
Bungie needs like a Fortnite, man. They need like, and I know Destiny kind of could be that for them, but
yeah,
but like I don't think it ever got there. But they think they just have like the pedigree to make an iconic, zeitgeist kind of game like that.
Yeah, and that's what I would say. Like I'm probably the most avid Destiny player on here. They're the mechanics, the gameplay of the game is fun. Like I've told you, I've put in over 1,000 hours into Destiny, and I feel bad now because I haven't paid a cent. But but it's because it's fun. It's still like a fun game to play.
It was a good feeling game.
My biggest gripe. Go ahead.
Oh, that was it. It's a fun feeling game. The biggest thing that never drew me in is that we really didn't have any ways to play together at the time. Like I would have to play with friends. It doesn't feel like a game that I'd want to play by myself.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's again, my biggest gripe that always came out of that was that the story. Like that's my thing with any kind of, this is why I don't like these live service type of games, is that I don't want a 30-second cutscene once every 6 months. and I'm just supposed to fucking grind for nothing.
And that's the thing. It's not a story game, and a lot of these games aren't. That's why I told you like I can't play by myself, because if I'm looking for a story, I know I'm not going to find it there. This game, Destiny's always been a game, kind of like Diablo 4, where it's a game to make an excuse to talk to your homeboys. It's a turn off your brain, shoot some stuff, and talk about, I don't know, your job or something. And you just do that a few times a week with your friends.
And I think maybe where it fails is because the other games out there that fill that space too are more fun. Like that.
I mean, Fortnite, you can do so much. Like Fortnite, I can shoot with my friends. I can play Rock Band with my friends. I can play Rocket League with my friends. Like, it's all in the same
ones
game.
Where you actually have to work together more, or where it's more challenging, like Helldivers, stuff like that, where you actually should talk to each other. Or that game, like you were telling us about, like with the chain that I've seen clips of.
Chained together
by the chain, like things like that, where it's like fun to fail together, stuff like that.
Sure.
But
Destiny's an old formula, is what it really comes down to. It's just a little old.
Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah. And that was always the thing, because I've never played with friends in Destiny, and so like I've never played any of like the raid or content, because it's like there's, and I kind of get why they do, but at the same time I'm like, why? I don't know why put the why are you bother putting this limitation on it? Is that there's no matchmaking for any of the raid stuff where you need 6 players or whatever? You have to have a party. They won't. I'm like, and it was just a weird thing. I was like, I don't understand the reasoning for that, but whatever. Go off, I guess. But yeah, so we'll see what happens to the future of Bungie with the future of Destiny. Who knows?
Could die, but R.I.P.
I mean, I think I like we said, I think Sony owning them now it might be their saving grace. It might keep them alive for a little longer, you know?
I don't think they would just completely cancel the studio after spending that much money.
$3.6 billion on them, you know? So I don't think they're going to throw that away immediately.
Yeah, if anything, they would uptake them and put them in other studios that are their bigger money builders.
Maybe.
It's time to make a new shooter game called Hola with the Chief Master as the main character.
With Commander Corporal.
Not the arbiter, but the adjudicator. And maybe he has the judge of sorts.
I mean, honestly, 343 is kind of struggling right now. So, if anything, that they might have to sell the brand.
Maybe they should come together and find peace and just make something together.
343 did say, we have job openings if you guys need one. So,
oh, really?
They sure did, yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. Anyways, next.
They all went back to 343 and make Halo great again. Make Halo great again.
That would be insane.
Maha.
Moving on to our next piece of news. More sad news. Game Informer. It's gone. It's gone. The GameStop, their parent company, said on Twitter, after 33 years, it's done. It's over. Goodbye. Brian, I feel like, or maybe you too, Devin. I was never a Game Informer reader that I'm aware of. But I think, Brian, you actually have physical. Yeah.
Oh, you still
That's Game Pro, actually. But I do have Game Informer as well.
Oh, yeah. I think we had like a stack. My brother and I had like a stack of Game Informers at one point. We're like, these will be worth some money someday.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we
Justice for Game Informer for the people. You know, we don't have a visual, but I'm holding up a Game Informer.
They always had the coolest covers.
Just like I said, it was the only thing that ever got upsold on from a stupid GameStop employee.
I remember it was like 2009 was like peak. 2009, 2010 was like peak Game Informer, and it had like Halo Reach was one of the big covers. I remember. But my brother and I would used to be hyped for some Game Informer, but I think it's funny. Just a dead space.
Yeah, and I mean they had a website too, like an IGN kind of website, and I guess it's just no one thinks to really go to. Right, no one knew about it.
Yeah,
because physical media like that just wasn't, who buys magazines anymore. It was kind of funny how long into like the digital age I still kept a Game Informer subscription, and it was solely because I just liked having the physical covers.
Yeah,
I usually read them once and then never read them again because once you get the news, you don't really need it anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get it, but also it's still sad because it's just one of those things that it's like an end of an era, right?
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we should have known. I kind of forgot that they were owned by GameStop. So that should have been our first clue.
Right. I still have my little key tag or whatever.
Reminds me of the time where you remember where there'd be like game guides where like I got one from Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, and it's like you literally do not need a game guide for that game.
I have so many fucking Prima strategy guides.
Yeah, man. Somebody would write those.
I loved them. I loved getting those, man.
Man, me too. But I feel like now some games could actually use them, like Crusader Kings 3 or like Elden Ring. Or, some of these
honestly,
really intense ones. Manor Lords, you could probably use.
I have one for The Witcher 3.
Ooh, that would actually be useful, yeah.
And it's just like, it's honestly because I don't feel like typing and Googling shit.
I mean, that's fair.
You just look through the book. Yeah, I mean,
but
I think some games now are so complex that, like Bannerlords, the game that I love so much, that game could use a book to tell you what you should read.
That's a sad thing too. And I mean, it might make a comeback just because collectibles are still a pretty popular thing. If anything, it's more popular because a lot of millennials that didn't have money growing up have money now. Because like I just remember Final Fantasy X's like guide or whatever. It's just a beautiful guide. Like not only just tell you like how to play the game, it also gave you like a lot of lore that you weren't, into stuff. It was like a kind of like, I don't know what you call the book for Lord of the Rings or whatever that kind of gave you all that context and stuff. I don't know. I think that's really cool. Yeah. I just think that's a really cool thing to do for like, especially like big RPGs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Also, am I making this up? But did Game Informer have like a cheats section at the end?
They definitely did at some point. I don't know if they always had it, but I definitely had like in the older ages. Because that's where you get like Grand Theft Auto.
I think that when you had Gamer Pro, definitely had like a big
Game Pro did. Yeah, that was a pretty big
thing. It would just give you the codes that work for each game. Man, that was a different time.
And now you just pay $2.99 for DLC.
I do kind of miss the era of cheat codes.
Now, if you want to cheat, you have to get mods, or you have to pay money.
You just mod it.
Right. And cheat codes don't exist anymore. And you know why? I think the biggest reason why cheat codes don't exist are because of achievements and trophies.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
Which is just like hilarious that they're like, we can't tarnish this fake ass thing.
And that was kind of right. It's like, especially like a single player game, is like, who fucking cares? It doesn't matter. You don't get anything for it. I don't win anything. I just want to play the game differently. And that was the whole thing. It's usually just like dev code stuff, so they can test out certain levels and certain games without having to like try too hard. And they just left it in. Like, people might, or you can be like Grand Theft Auto took that a step further and was like, this would be more fun if we just gave them all the shit already. They didn't have to work for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that made a whole way to play the game. So I don't know. We
can
get all the cheat codes and stuff.
I know that. I mean, honestly, this is making me think of a great main topic of segment one day.
I used Game Shark, baby. I was a full cheater.
That's why I think I appreciate there are some companies that still kind of do something similar, like Naughty Dog. Every time whenever you beat the game, or like you have to do certain things, they have like essentially cheat codes. Like you can unlock like infinite ammo. I remember in The Last of Us Part 2, you can unlock explosive arrows, and beating that with explosive arrows is one of the funnest things I've ever done.
Oh, that's really funny. I never played it again afterwards, so I didn't remember that. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid did the same thing the first game. Oh, yeah. But back to Game Informer. It's a sad time, but again, not super surprising in our digital age that a magazine the fact that it survived this long is quite a feat.
Yeah, honestly, when I saw this headline, I was like, wow, I thought Game Informer would have died a long time ago.
Yeah. Yep. But we'll see what happens to the rest of the world. I think me and Brian have talked. We are very much physical media people. So it does make me sad when the little things like this and that slowly start to disappear. But I understand. But I will continue to buy as many physical things as I can, at least for the things I care about mostly. You know? But all right, let's continue the news. But to do so, we have to head to the trailer park. So let's go.
Mom Spaghetti.
Yeah. Okay, we're here. One trailer. It's not really a trailer, but it is a visual that moves. And it happened when right before the season 2 finale of House of the Dragon. HBO showed a little glimpse into the future of HBO, as they have done in the past, with the just like announcing and showing off things that are coming, and then towards the end they talk about stuff and show stuff that are coming next year. And 3 kind of bigger things that we had never seen footage of yet had been shown. We'll start with the big boy that happened at the very end of this little clip thing. It is for The Last of Us Season 2. We got to see a little bit of footage in it. No spoilers, but I love how they start off with probably one of the more iconic shots from that game of Ellie in the lights. I'll just say that. It looks exactly the same.
Which honestly I think is good, because I think that game had really good cinematography. I guess would you still call it that in a video game? But I don't know. But...
yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Still have camera work. Yeah.
It
looks good. I'm getting more and more convinced that Bella Ramsey can pull off this version of Ellie.
You think so? I'm getting nitty gritty.
I'm trying not to spoil stuff.
Yeah, just stupid. Yeah. I'm getting a little nitty gritty with like the way that some of the she looks and stuff, where her hair's done. I was like, she still looks fucking 14, but
yeah. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It's gonna be a tough sell in some way, but we'll have to see how it goes. I do like man.
That some of the other characters kind of like match her a little better. So I think that's going to make it, I don't want to say it's going to make it more believable, but it's not like, oh, that's obviously a 26-year-old person, and then there's Bella Ramsey that looks,
Why is this adult walking around with this 12-year-old?
Exactly. So I think I appreciate that.
Yeah. One thing that I did see, I mean, obviously there's stuff in here that I don't recognize. So I'm a little curious as to see how much new stuff they'll put in this. Specifically, Catherine O'Hara's character, the mom from Home Alone, at the very end of this little clip. I was like, I don't know who she is.
Not Schitt's Creek, the mom from Home Alone. Come on.
Yeah, I know. I still have to watch fucking Schitt's Creek. I know. But that, and I just like as soon as it ended, I was like, why the fuck is Pedro Pascal such a good actor? When he says I saved her and the tear falls down his eye in the same exact moment, I was like, you're an asshole. You're an asshole.
I want to hate him because he's in goddamn everything, but he kind of deserves it, so it sucks.
It's like, he's so fucking good. I'm like, damn. And his hair, he got great Joel hair. He's got great Joel hair in this.
Yeah, growing it out
was
looking
good.
That was good.
Very excited for that to come next year. We'll see how that all plays out. Another thing they showed, a little bit of A Night of the Seven Kingdom, the next Game of Thrones spinoff that Devin is going to tell us what the fuck this is about. Who's this boy?
Well, I read the graphic novel too. I read 2 of the graphic novels in this series called like the Hedge Knight series. I think it was like a regular book too, but I read the graphic novel version. And I think if they do it right, it could be really, really cool. I think you got to follow it pretty closely, but yeah, I'm excited for it. I think it'll be kind of refreshing.
What era, without giving spoilers, what era, like, does this take place pre House of the Dragon? Is it between House of the Dragon and
between House of the Dragon and between House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones. Like I think maybe like 100 years before the events of Game of Thrones. Like
interesting.
I think I forget exactly where, but yeah, it's like 100 to 150 before. I think that range before Game of Thrones, but it will be refreshing. I think because it'll be the Westeros world with like smaller, kind of smaller stakes, like. It's not like the whole, it's not about like, I'm going to claim the Iron Throne, right? Like, which is what it always is about before, but it's more of like a more relatable character, I think, is the main character. So
yeah, it's filmed kind of interesting. Like almost like some of the shots look almost Lord of the Rings-esque, which I wonder if they're going to go a little bit more towards, I don't want to say like a lighter story, but like you said, maybe just like a lower stake story.
Yeah, not lighter, but definitely like, what do you say? Oh no, I actually really like the end of the graphic novel because it's very well. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but it makes you think. So I
think my biggest thing. Sorry, not to cut you off. I think my biggest thing that I'm kind of excited about is like we haven't seen a story in this universe that's about one character essentially. You know what I mean?
2. It'll be about 2. So
Fuck.
Okay.
The Hedge Knight and the young bald boy. Ang looking guy, which
the young bald boy.
That doesn't sound as cool as the Hedge Knight.
Can they call him that?
Yeah, we'll work with it.
Young bald boy.
The story of the Hedge Knight and the young bald boy.
His name is Ang. But no.
So I think that's
more excited for this than I am for anything else with House of the Dragon. So.
Damn, that's tough.
Devin is burnt. He got burnt by the dragon themselves.
I'm pissed, man.
And we're gonna talk about it eventually.
We'll talk about that another week. Yeah. But I mean, Game of Thrones, HBO is going to do everything they can to continue this universe and this world.
Yeah.
So not surprising. But again, if they keep it up at least production caliber and everything, acting caliber, it should be good. Should be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to watch. And the last thing was It. Welcome to Derry, the It prequel series that we'd heard about, and now we finally got some footage. It's more kids being terrified.
That's a little scary.
Yeah.
Does It have this big of a following? Do we care?
I mean,
I don't know.
Is it unique enough to? I don't know. I just don't care.
Cash grab, money, baby. What do you mean?
I mean, that's the thing is that HBO can do that because their shows look so good. Like we're gonna watch Dune, even though I don't think any of us are really excited about that Dune show.
No,
but we're probably gonna watch it.
Yeah, especially if I hear it's good, then I'll watch it.
And like sometimes, like HBO can, I don't know what it is. They got the sauce. They can sometimes they got a little bit of magic there. But yeah, I mean, I like the new It movies. I like them for what they're worth. And this could be kind of fun because again, I think this is going back to the first It movie, which I do think is funner and not funner. It's better with the kids stuff versus the big alien clown thing. And this looks to be more of that. I mean, clearly, maybe. Look, for all we know, maybe this turns into HBO Stranger Things. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go. That was pretty much it. That's the trailer park, which means that is the news, guys. Shall we now hop into our main topic of the week then?
I'm ready.
Diabolical.
But first, we are trapped in again another fortress. It's a fortress we have been to before. It is gross. It is grotesque. It is disgusting because we are in the fortress of
Mommy Issues.
Du Bois.
Mommy Issues, the show. Yeah, here we are once again. We are in the Fortress of the Boys, season 4 specifically. It just ended a couple weeks ago or a week ago or whatever. We're finally here to talk about it. No spoilers. We know The Boys is ending next season with season 5. We know they're having spinoffs that are continuing for which is going to be really awkward and weird. But anyways, thoughts on season 4 as a whole, non-spoilers. Brian, why don't you go first? Because you said something before we started recording that I'm really interested.
I was like, I'm excited to talk about this because I do want to see how you guys kind of feel about it. I'm tired of this show, guys. I think I'm over it.
Damn.
And the big thing that comes down to it, and it's really sad because I think Gen V was really good, and I think that's what really made this feel really not, because we had that time between, the third season and fourth season of The Boys, where I kind of forgot how I didn't even really like the third season that much, because it did the thing that I was really afraid of, and that it got too on the nose and became big, which is so funny because I'm such a politically charged person, but this got too politically charged in a way that I didn't find super interesting, I guess. I don't know anything about like the graphic novel or things like that, so I can't attest to like what's same, what's different, if it's always been a very politically charged show or whatever. But I just felt like it kind of lost what made it special, and it kind of started turning into almost like Rick and Morty-esque. And some of the like way the jokes go, how everything was a little over the top, and like it's always been over the top, but now it's just kind of like it's not. They're not doing it in a way that feels productive anymore. It's just shock value for the sake of shock value. Like it wasn't like holy shit, because he had like that one scene, and everyone was like, "There's that one scene in that season that like that's that crazy shit." It kept happening so often in this episode or like this season that I was kind of like turned off. That like every single time something really gross happened, I was kind of like, "Can we fucking give it at least a little bit of a rest? Why does everybody have to get fucking Mortal Kombated every episode? Like Jesus Christ! Like can we just have something be normal?" So just kind of feeling through that. I think the political commentary almost felt like Velma-esque, whereas like they weren't actually making any good real statements. They were just kind of like, this is a thing that we know is an issue right now, we're gonna make fun of it, which like I love making fun of a fucking far right Republican, don't get me wrong, but it was kind of tired, I guess, because we've heard all those jokes before at this point, so it's kind of like I'm not hearing or feeling anything that I don't already feel. You're preaching to the choir, nor am I feeling like this is the show that like I really need to push that in. Because I do find it interesting, the idea of having like what would happen if superheroes existed in America, and they probably would be kind of like that, but I don't think they'd be exactly like that. Everything we're going through right now is happening with humans, so I want something different to happen when it comes with when now the humans got superpowers, right? So I think that's what made me kind of fed up. So I don't know, it was okay, but
I think I probably feel a little more positively than you do, but I definitely think this is the weakest season of The Boys so far. I actually liked season 3 quite a lot. I think it's probably my favorite with all the Soulja Boy stuff in season 3. I really enjoyed season 3 as a whole.
It was the ending of season 3, I should say, specifically that turn, because that's when we started pivoting heavy into like we're doing current events now, and I was like,
right, yeah,
okay,
yeah. I don't know why. I kind of like that they're just being so on the nose about it at times. Like maybe it is because I like when they make fun of a bunch of idiots.
I mean, it was funny seeing Twitter be like, "Wait, is this play about us?"
Like, yeah, so it's kind of funny. And I love how they double down. They're like, "Yes, it is about you." I'm telling you now, it's about you. So that didn't quite bother me that much. I think what bothered me the most was this was clearly a season, a bit of, we can't do much because we're saving it all for our final season type of thing. There's a lot of moments like that where it's like, none of these people are going to die because then we don't have a show for the last season. And there was a little bit of meandering. Some characters I feel like I was like, you didn't do shit this whole fucking season. What the fuck? We'll talk about it in a bit. And so, yeah, but again, it's like, it's kind of like the HBO thing where it's like, it's still such a good show production wise and everything, and like acting wise. And there's some good stuff that like, it kind of gets a pass for me personally, even though I'm like, this is still the weakest of all of them. It's still like not a horrible show in my opinion. I still thought it was quite enjoyable at times, but there's definitely moments where I'm like, oh, this is purely just here because you need a set piece and you need to make something up. We'll talk about the farm later. But I'll be honest though, by the end, I thought the finale was genuinely great. I was like, this is what I'm talking about. Again, it's because it did a great thing where, funny enough, we'll talk about when I'm not spoil House of the Dragon. It did what House of the Dragon didn't do in terms of this got me hyped for the next season, but it also did shit in the episode, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, by the end, when fucking I'll explain it in a second. By the end, I was like, okay, I'm ready for. I know it's not coming for 2 years or whatever, but I'm ready for season 5 now. The pieces are all at play. I'm excited to see what the fuck happens.
The end definitely put me back in, and we'll talk about why. That it was something that I was expecting throughout this entire season, and it didn't happen until the end, where it was like, oh, we're finally going to do something with X, with this thing.
Yes. Yep.
So
this thing for we're at a moment during a show, I was like, oh, they're about to just throw this away and write this off, aren't they? And then I was like, oh, they didn't. What a surprise. They actually did. They're actually going to do something. Cool. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought I guess I'm more aligned with Oscar, but because I was at a moment where I was like actually looking forward to seeing the next episode when it came out every week. So that was kind of cool because I was like,
yeah,
nice to have some anticipation for something. But I do also understand like where the criticism comes from of like, it being the weakest season so far. But I mean, yeah, I enjoyed it. And like, I guess the on the nose stuff, I kind of agree with you more, Oscar, of like, it didn't bother me. I kind of liked it. I don't know. Maybe it's just because it was like cathartic. I don't know, man. Cause I guess we all have this like pressure of, in a pretty politically charged environment. So maybe it's just kind of cathartic to like see it displayed in such a way.
But a way that's like over the top, but somehow it's like this is also the world we kind of live in a little bit, which is a little terrifying.
And maybe that's me. It's like I guess I engage in it so much on a daily basis, just in like the spaces that I kind of hold already, that it's like I need to unplug from it at this point. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think it was like so much that it might have been a little bit better if it was like once more removed than it is. But it's like they were literally saying lines that we've heard within the past like 6 months. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I fucking like, it's kind of funny, but it's almost like South Park, where it's like you're making satire of something that's existing right now. That it's kind of like, okay, like that could be funny, but it's also like, but we still have like people being bigots right now, so it's not funny right now because it's currently happening, and it might get worse.
Agreed.
I don't know if you guys saw what happened with Donald Trump today.
Today?
Oh yes, he was on a stream with Aiden Ross. Aiden Ross, and XQC, huge streamers that are known to be pretty problematic. And he actually was on stream with them, and he gifted Donald Trump a. This is so far off. I'm sorry. We got to talk about it a little bit. He gifted a Cybertruck that had a wrap of Donald Trump's iconic picture of him putting his fist up after getting shot in the ear. It was.
That was actually shrapnel. It wasn't the bullets.
Right. I took a good look at his ear to be like, is his ear? Does he still have one? Or did he get Mike Tyson?
He does not have the Timu ear pillow anymore.
That was a whole thing where it's like we're watching stupidity happen in real time. I don't need to watch a show about it. I can just watch TV.
But see, that's
and honestly, some of that is like a weird coincidence,
right? To the point they had to play.
They said some of it was not planned,
like crazy, kind of insane. Yeah.
Although
weird.
I do think by the end, when they started referencing January 6th a lot, I think that was very much planned. Yeah. But like, I don't know. I guess my main critique with the season was like how contrived some of the stuff felt, because some of the stuff felt so contrived. It's just like you just need something for this character to do, and I always hate when that happens in a show where it's like you just have to fill a season and you have to fill some scenes with this character. So you just
got too many characters. They don't know what to do with them.
That's fair. And like you said, there's some they don't do really anything with.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But overall, I mean, enjoyable, and like y'all say, I'm definitely ready for the next season and ready for it to be the last one. It's run its course, I think.
For me, I think it started off strong. It had a lull towards like the last few episodes, and the final was back to like, okay, we're back, baby. We're back in this.
Yeah, I agree.
Firecracker.
All right, with that,
we'll start talking about
go ahead.
No, because we'll talk about it when we get to that character. I want to talk about the characters and how some characters were just stand-ins from other characters from the last season and shit like that.
A little bit.
That's that shit I don't like either. That's it.
Yeah. All right, so with that, listeners, we're gonna hop into spoilers. So spoilers for all seasons of The Boys, but primarily season 4. What do y'all want to start with the finale, and work backwards, or what do y'all want to start? What are y'all thinking? Or do you want to
like chronological order and finish it off finale?
All right. I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember much of the fucking first half of this season.
It was so long ago.
Just because, like, I feel like the big thing that happened was like, I don't even know.
I like going by characters. I think we can go by characters.
I was gonna say, what if we did that?
Yeah.
Let's start with the character that didn't do anything, Starlight. I felt so bad because they didn't give her anything to do until like the last 5 minutes.
They made her like some weird version of Antifa and then didn't really go deep enough into it. I was just like, yeah, we're the Stormlighters. And I was like, I know the whole thing of like last season was her like, exposing Homelander. And then it ended up working in his favor and that being a whole thing. And that was supposed to be like what came after that. But it was just kind of like they didn't really play with it well. It just gave her excuse to be in spaces where she could get mad and then have a reason to, I don't know, have her story arc in the way that it did.
And also it gave them a reason to nerf her entirely because she's too strong and they don't know what to do.
Right, that's fair. Yeah. That's fair as well. She's like, I don't want to use my powers anymore. I'm not a superhero. Shut up. We need.
And then they literally just had her like forget how to use her powers.
And then she just legit couldn't do anything. I'm like, what the hell is happening here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, there's not much more for me personally. Until we talk about the finale. I'll end the shape changer. She didn't really do all that much. Which is quite of a bummer. But she left on a high note, which we'll talk about in the finale in a sec.
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like let's talk about the second like kind of plot that was. I liked their last moment, but throughout the whole show, I don't know what the hell is going on with Kimiko and Frenchie.
They've had a very complicated relationship because of another character that got introduced as well. Because that was another character that had to get something to do. But yeah, Kimiko really took a back, which is another character. I think they did that for the reasons that she was too strong. They didn't know what to do with her, so they kept giving her reasons to do grunt work,
right,
and then have it not go right because of everybody else and not necessarily her. And then that was kind of the big skinny of it. They talked a little bit about her past and about people not liking her and stuff. And
I'm surprised that they didn't fully resolve that with her sister person that she saw. Like that person never came back. Really. I was like, oh,
I felt like they forgot.
I guess we'll save that. I don't know. Maybe
I don't know. I think Kimiko was criminally underused this season, but when we talked about the contrived stuff, that's the whole thing with Frenchie and the other lover was like, where did this come from? Yeah. Like, this is completely random, especially because they had pretty much like firmly established that him and Kimiko were like romantically engaged, like connected by the end of last season. I feel like, so it's like, I don't know. It just felt very, very contrived to me.
I think it got back to that kind of issue of just like they've gotten too far into the show without showing enough characterization of that character, Frenchie. And they were just kind of, his characterization was through Kimiko. Both of their characterization were through each other. So then when you took them apart, it made it weird. So they're like, shit, we got to say something about these characters. So like, well, you used to be fighting in the back alleys and, was used to kill other children and stuff like that. Oh, that's cool. And then also, this guy's a terrorist. And we know he's a terrorist because he's fucking the guy that he terrorized. What? What do you mean?
And in my head, I'm like, so is Frenchie good now? Is he all right now by the end of the season? I don't know.
I don't know how he could be. He didn't resolve with his partner at the time. And then it says it was a fling anyway. So it was kind of like weird. It's like, oh, I actually like you, Kimiko, the whole time. You were fucking him like you didn't like me.
He was in prison and then he was just randomly out of prison like immediately.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
Just
that was a little weak. Yeah.
I do think if they do anything with that character, they're going to have to bring back his... I can't remember the guy's name.
I don't know either.
Yeah,
I don't remember his name.
Yeah, because the whole thing was about the fact that he killed that guy's family, and then was hiding it from him. Yeah,
he killed about 30 people in that room.
Right. Which I mean, he had talked about those things before in like earlier seasons, but like they really just felt like they just kind of nailed that one randomly. We have to introduce him to somebody from his past because that'll really give him that strong. That just felt like weak writing to me.
Again, I think
Frenchie's always been kind of like using drugs and kind of like just not had his shit together. It's like, could we have him go through some growth and like just move on from that? It just feels like I'm tired of that.
I don't know if I need that.
Like that being his whole character.
I was fine with him being the Ludacris of the group. I really didn't need much deeper than that from him. Like I don't. Maybe that's shitty of me, but it's just like I just really didn't need a deeper story for him personally.
Honestly, I think I feel the same way. Like whenever the show happens, I'm like, I don't really care that much I kind of just want to see Homelander and Butcher's shit go down.
Right. Like, it's cool. You have the whole Huey and Starlight story, and you have the Kimiko and Frenchie story. I didn't really need anything past that, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with Kimiko, though, is like, and it was so kind of casually done, but in the finale, like, where she finally speaks, I mean, is she going to speak now in the next
I see,
season?
that's where I'll say that moment actually kind of got me.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
in the moment.
But I think
I was like, that was kind of powerful.
For me, it didn't hit very hard because it was so, like, the montage was happening. So it didn't really hit very hard for me because there were so many other things going on. So I don't know. I kind of wish they'd done those scenes kind of like one at a time.
That's fair.
Interesting. Gotcha. Yeah, I like that they kissed by the end. Obviously, as soon as that kiss happened, I was like, all right, who's dying? Who's gonna die now? who's fucked? And luckily, no one's dead yet. But
well,
yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
somehow
see.
all of the boys have survived this whole time when they're fighting superheroes through 4 seasons, which seems very unlikely.
I truly thought they were trying to find a way to get Mother's Milk out of there.
Yeah.
With the storyline that they were giving him.
Which he should have done. He should have left.
Yeah. That yeah, I don't know. Speaking of Mother's Milk.
Yeah, that can be maybe the next one. He was all over the place, man. Like,
and then they started giving him panic attacks randomly. And
like every season, he's like, "Fuck Butcher, Butcher's off this team, fuck him." And then the very next episode, it's like, "Okay,
we bring it back. Butcher.
We need
Butcher. He's the head of the team right now." It's like, what? And then like he's just inconsistent all over the place.
And I think that's what's kind of funny.
I mean, I think,
and that's where it's. I think the difference between watching it all at once and then watching it week to week, like you guys did. I mean, I guess they did show the first 3 episodes all at once. But I watched this all in like probably like the span of like maybe 4 or 5 days. And it's like it makes that a little bit more egregious. Mother's Milk, like his back and forth, because like episode 1, he's like, "All right, we got my boys here, we got you. You're kind of an asshole, but we're gonna get through this." And then he does something stupid, Butcher. And then like the next episode, he's like, "Man, fuck the Butcher. He's out of this shit. That man is crazy. Get him out of here." 3rd episode, we gotta bring back the Butcher guys. We really need him.
Exactly. Like,
what the fuck's going on here? Wait a second.
No consistency.
What do we do?
I mean, it seems clearly like they were trying to show the whole not everyone's meant to be a leader. And sometimes you might think, oh, this person will be good at the job, and they're just not. But I don't know what is the growth to MM's character in that. Is that like, are they trying to show us like, oh, maybe he should just go back to his family and be happy and not dead.
I honestly think
I don't know.
I think they should have pulled a Paul Walker and just fucking send him and be like, "Oh yeah, he's with his family." Yeah. Because that was the whole thing, that like his characterization with his like panic attacks and stuff like that. We know that he started to like accept like his wife's lover that got his head smushed. And starts to like understand that like, oh, what I do has like an impact on my family, and especially like, my child, because a child's impressionable.
He's finally gonna get his family back together.
Right, but then he's too busy doing dumb shit and then trying to like risk his life. That it was like, if anything, they should have like maybe shuffled him back into like being more of like I have a home base and you guys can contact me from the home base, but I ain't going on the field anymore.
Yeah.
I got things to lose now. Something like that. Yeah, and they just really, I don't know. Instead, they played with the panic attack thing that I was kind of like, this is kind of a tired trope as well. Of like,
MM is that guy, and the guy that has to fucking get either cummed on or shit on or smacked with a giant dick.
Yeah,
he is that guy. That is his joke now.
Which could have been Frenchie, because Frenchie's the ludicrous. No, well, yeah, I guess. Yeah, right. Why is Mother's Milk the Tyrese of the group?
I don't know. I mean, somehow he had the credibility to be like the team lead, I guess, from the CIA. Did you guys notice? I think in the episode with like the clone guy, but like for me, I thought in between scenes like he had a little bit of a mustache, and then other scenes he had no mustache. With Mother's Milk, was I just seeing that, or did you notice that too?
Oh, for Mother's Milk?
Yeah. Like,
I feel like
it felt
I might
like
have
some
noticed
scenes
that,
he had like clean shaven.
Oh yeah.
He would have like a faint mustache.
It almost seems like they like put like I don't know why they did that. I thought I was the only one that I was like, did he never have a mustache? And I'm not tripping or not? Or I didn't know if they was like doing his like makeup differently or something, and maybe that was a weird thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I really couldn't. Okay, I'm glad. That was in the back of my mind, but I didn't really think about it. But I was
it felt
like,
back and forth within the same episode a few times. Because at first I remember being like, oh, like thin mustache is a good look for MM. And then like it would just be gone. And then it would be back again. So
maybe he was working on some other roles or something. So he had to cut some shit. Yeah.
That's yeah, I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with him, Maybe he'll get over it. Maybe he'll figure out his OCD.
Maybe that's what. Yeah, maybe that's what I was kind of struggling with a lot of this show. Like, the main story was so politically charged, and all the side stories were just so nothing sandwiches that I was kind of like, I don't know what we're trying to accomplish here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Huey's cringe is always, I don't even know if he's worth mentioning. Like,
let's talk about Huey. Huey's biggest thing. Yeah, I don't like Huey either.
My favorite nepotism baby. Let's go. He admitted it, and I appreciate it.
Fuck Jack Quaid.
No, I appreciate him because he said, like, yeah, I'm absolutely one, and like I'm just trying my best to like make it worth it because I know that I got a lot of privileges that I don't necessarily deserve. And I was like, finally, someone says it. Someone says what we're all thinking.
At least he owns it.
Yeah.
He's just cringe. Every scene he's in is cringe.
I just like. He's useless in my head.
He's gotten more useless. Like, I liked his character growth of like getting more hardened from like going through a lot of traumas, but now that he's like hit the peak of that, and then they just decided to like throw like a sob story in there, it's just kind of like, well,
with his mom and dad. Which, how did you guys feel about the mom and dad stuff? Simon Pegg got to actually do something in the show again.
Yeah,
sort of.
Yeah, it was hard to care. I know they wanted to make a story about, which leads me to believe they're going to maybe take this. Well, I guess it's going to be the big struggle the next season of like whether you forgive or get vengeance. What's the right answer? And I think they wanted to kind of like shoehorn that story in there to make it of like, I have to forgive my mom the same way I had to forgive A-Train, the same way I'm going to have to forgive Homelander, that kind of thing. Where it's like, that's boring. To have a show that's so grotesque and so intense and so ridiculous, to have it potentially end up with being like and then we all got along, that would be really jarring, I guess. So it had some heartstring pulling moments, but as a whole it wasn't anything that like, I don't know, blew the door off the wall or anything.
I agree. I think like you said, like I think the death of his dad I thought was incredibly fucking sad to watch. Like,
it was sad.
I think that was a very good scene, but
it was also fucking horrifying.
I was about to say, I kind of didn't like
killed so many people.
He did kill a lot of people,
and that kind of cheapened it for me too, because it was just like, this is supposed to be a really sad moment that makes him like really remember humanity of like, oh, you know, sometimes the things you try to do don't work and they still die, whatever. But then they just added like 10 minutes of violence before that happened, him just fucking murdering everybody in the hospital.
He killed about 4, 5, 6 people.
It's like, now this doesn't feel so sad, because your dad was just a murderer for it. You know, had he survived this, he's going to prison.
He's going to jail.
They put that man under the prison. What do you mean? Like, I don't know. It's just one of those moments where it's like, this could have been heartfelt, but then you decide you want to do too much.
Right. But that's kind of what you meant. You mentioned earlier about like kind of where the boys is at now. Like, I think they can't help themselves but throw in that kind of violence. Like, they got to shock you multiple times per. It's like,
oh my god, the skating ring scene.
Gross.
Why did they do that? The skating ring.
Exactly.
There was no reason for that to happen.
Made me fucking laugh.
Oh my god. And that just happens so often where we just be like, oops, my bad, kill 18 people. What the fuck is going on?
Wait, since we're already on the subject, that was going to be my query to you guys, is like the most iconic like boys moment of this season, or just like ones that stick out. Maybe like, I think the clone episode had a bunch of them. Like, they drowned a guy.
I mean, the guy eating his own ass times 6 was kind of insane.
It's like human centipeding himself. That was
fucking insane.
This was a very sexual season. There's a lot of weird sex stuff that was happening this season.
Yeah, there was some weird stuff. And then, gosh, what else?
That was
Was that the episode where there was like a fatality moment where like they pulled out like a spine, like a head? I can't remember.
I mean, all sorts of things got pulled out. Hearts got pulled out. People got ripped in half a couple times. People's heads got smashed into the walls. The dude that got fucking turned into a letter L because he got pushed by the by homegirl, the person that's shapeshifter.
Yeah. Wait.
It might have been a woman, but they got like hit into like a table and they just like snapped sideways. I was like,
oh god,
what the fuck?
That's pretty bad.
Ow, bro. Yeah, some of them is just not necessary.
I think. I mean, look, I think it ultimately comes a lot from probably mainly last season, because I think once they did the tiny dude in the dick, it was over.
Yeah,
I think that was like shit. How do we top that?
And I don't
that
know.
was funny.
You don't need to. Like, I think you have to be sparing with it, so it can really like you can have those moments that you want to talk about. But when you have every single 10 minutes has that, I don't feel impassioned.
It's better when that's fewer and far between. Yeah. Absolutely agree. 100%.
And that's why I feel like the one that I feel like they thought was like, this is gonna be a really great, fun, cool moment, and I was just like, I don't care. Was the farm animals, the soup, the V'd out sheep and chickens? I was like, this is the dumbest thing in the world.
So that's a big thing that I hate about modern television right now, because you can always tell what was put in there solely so people will post it. That was the posting moment. That was what they thought was going to be the big Twitter moment of someone going to be like, look at this fucking show, bro. They got flying fucking sheep. And then no one cared. Yeah. Like, I didn't see that anywhere before I watched it.
I was like, this is a waste of time. This is literally just here to have a weird set piece. I was like, I don't need this. I would rather the show be 10 minutes shorter this week.
I like it was funny for a moment, but then it went on too long. Like,
exactly.
It was like one little bit, but yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of a few more of the moments from the, like, just gratuitous violence. I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember more.
Definitely too much of it, though. Oh, like when they were going around the office just killing all the employees, that was really random and just fucked up.
That was brutal. Oh my God. That was like, whew. That was that was crazy.
It was funny when he was like, this is Ashley. He's like, not that Ashley.
Yeah. That's the wrong
That's the wrong Ashley.
Wait, okay. Can we talk about New Noir? Can we talk about New Noir real quick? I kind of love New Noir.
Who the fuck
He's like this fucking thespian. He's like, I'm trying to find my character. He's like, bro, you don't talk. Shut the fuck up. That's all your character.
I had gotten kind of confused because I didn't realize they like actually replaced him. Because the first time I kind of realized it was when Ryan was doing his first save. And I thought they just hired someone to act as if him for that moment, and that was going to be the end of it. But I was like, oh no, this guy's still a soup. He's just a different fucking guy.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a second.
Okay. They just like, all right, you're Noir now. You don't say anything.
I love that he gets to be in all the black stuff, even though they don't know whether or not he's black.
I thought the little kind of bromance between him and the Deep, who is so unintentionally funny. Like the Deep is just such a clown, but like the moment where like he finds out that I guess Noir was hooking up with Sage as well, and he's like, wait, like there's some line of like, he's like, wait, like, you know, she doesn't lobotomize herself to have sex with you.
It's like, lobotomize?
Like,
they were just like, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, I was like, that's such a stupid humor. But like, it kind of works in that moment with those characters because it's so stupid and they're so stupid.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with the boys. Like sometimes it is that low. Like, so.
And I can appreciate it when it is, but I just feel like it was too low brow, I guess. Mm-hmm. Nothing made me like cackle because it wasn't like really like, oh, that's a good one. You know, like Stormfront from last season, like her character and that character arc was funny because it was so like kind of jarring. Where like if you really looked at the signs, you would have known the big like switch of her being a fucking neo-Nazi. But if not, it's so funny to be like, of course she fucking is in this show. Like, of course someone's going to be a neo-Nazi. Whereas we had Firecracker that from beginning to end was like, I'm get on down there with them guns and fuck abortions.
Oh,
and I was
my
like,
God.
All right, that's fine. Whatever. Her character was so boring to me. I found nothing interesting about her.
Look, I see what they're trying to do. It just didn't quite work. Like the whole, this was my plan the whole time.
Yeah, they're making fun of grifting, which we know is very popular right now. A lot of people are grifting and don't actually believe what they say. They just want to make a buck. And that's her character. And it's like, that's fine, but like, it's too, like the Stormfront character was more interesting because I thought that was so like different from what I expected. That was really jarring. Like, I love that character. Oh, she's the bad one. Fuck. You know what I mean? Like that was a big moment.
Yeah.
Whereas this one was just like, we're just making fun of Alex Jones or somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I did like how she's getting sick from fucking the medicine she was taking and fucking that breast milk.
No, that is.
By the end, she looked like haggard shit.
That is my favorite scene from the entire show. Is when she fucking starts coughing and he just makes that face. Homelander's just like,
he's like,
ugh.
He's like, move down, and he's like, further down.
Yeah, the first time she did it, I think I clipped that and I started sending it to people because I was like, that's just so funny to me because the face that he makes is so disgusted.
Oh my God. Like, honestly, like, we'll talk about Homelander in a sec, but like, Homelander is one of the best characters.
He's a great character.
That actor really is so good at embodying that
so good. Yeah, I don't know. But Firecracker, yeah, like I'm surprised they stuck her around for this next final season. I was genuinely surprised. I thought maybe she'd be one of the ones if they're gonna have like any kind of death that she would have. Honestly, I was like, this medicine's gonna kill her.
I want to see.
She was gonna what is her power? She just can spark her hands a little bit.
That's all she's ever done.
I don't know. She's garbage. Yeah.
I wanted to see Starlight punch through her face. I want to see her punch through her forehead.
Might happen.
Yeah. I was really excited about it. I needed it to happen right then on TV. That would have been so funny.
Nah.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. Let's quickly talk about Sister Sage.
Talk about doing nothing.
Bro.
Yeah, this is a big one. I was not buying.
Homegirl did nothing and then left.
She did absolutely nothing and then acted like it was all her plan the whole time. Like that was, and yeah, I don't know. Go ahead, Oscar.
It kind of works for me in the sense that I fully believe, because that's the stereotype is like she is so fucking smart that she's bored. Like she even says she's like, yeah, I could cure cancer, but why?
But that's why it didn't work for me. Like, because if you're that intelligent, why would you align yourself with the dumbest people?
Because she's bored. I think that was their way of writing their way out of it. It might not have been super believable, but in the sense it's like, because she's literally because she's nothing else to do. She knows everything. Everyone, like it'd be like talking to a rock. I would imagine she's just talking to a bunch of rocks, and it's like life is so boring at this point. Yeah, let me see if I can get this fucking Nazi in charge of the planet.
Yeah,
just for fun. I mean, who gives a shit? You know.
I mean, I don't know. It just makes her kind of immoral, but it feels like if you're that intelligent, you would realize, like, you know, you definitely don't want that. But maybe she's at the point, kind of like that Dr. Manhattan level of like, I'm so far above these humans.
And I think it's also the fact that they lean on the fact that this is a universe where everyone kind of sucks.
Right.
So, so obviously, the smartest person in the world would also have like a shitty tendency.
Maybe they could have characterized it better. True. Maybe the lines weren't quite correct with her then, because I wasn't really getting like the boredom feeling with her. Like I did get like when she started talking about I like a lobotomy to just like turn my brain off for a little bit. That's like her smoking weed or whatever, and I was like I hated saying that, but
that was gross.
I do think it was an interesting thing to kind of talk about what makes her character to then get her shot. But yeah, it's like it didn't really feel like she was like. I don't know. I guess if they made her like maybe like a little more aloof or like a little bit more like not seem like she was interested in the plan, like she just starts saying shit while she's like twirling her hair or something, and then maybe Homelander could be like, "Yep, that's a good idea," and it's obviously not. She's just being a fuckhead. Maybe if more of that have happened, but instead of just kind of like, "No, I'm just playing the long game. You didn't trust my long game, but I still got the long game. Aren't you ready to get back onto my long game?" And it's like. No,
it was a tough sell. It's a tough sell.
Yeah,
and it's like the stars just aligned for her to be at the end. Like, oh yeah, this was all part of my plan.
It's kind of
didn't really feel like it was.
Also, she doesn't have the right, and this is just a criticism of me being kind of stupid. But it's like Professor X. Obviously, he's big on his like telepathy and fucking ability to like telekinesis and stuff like that. That man's costume was a suit. You don't deserve a superhero suit if you can't do anything. She's not stronger than anybody. She can't fight anybody, anything like that. Yeah, she can get shot in her head, it regenerates, whatever. But other than that, like, you don't need a full fucking outfit with a cape and shit when all you can do is be smart.
It was goofy that she was walking around that suit all the time. She should have just been like her shirt and sweatpants. And I think that would have really sold her like I don't give a fuck kind of character a little bit better if she was just like dressed like a normal ass person. Like, I don't know, fucking get mother's milk, take them, rob them, and they're just like, should we? Yeah, just do that. Fucking, I don't care. Something like that. Yeah,
maybe.
Right.
Yeah. Agreed.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah, she didn't. I'll be interested to see what the hell she does next season.
She's
and how are they going to use her?
You think she's going to die, or do you think she's too smart to die?
I don't know. Well, again, that's the thing where it's like, if they use this virus, like I don't know how it's going to work. Because literally shot her in the head and she didn't die.
She didn't
so
die.
I don't know. I don't even know how you kill her.
Right. Well, she said if you shoot her in the heart, that kills her. But if you shoot her in the brain, she doesn't die.
Oh, did she? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Because her brain's the only thing that can regenerate. I guess it's just because her brain doesn't stop growing new cells.
I think she
That's
probably
what makes her so
will
smart.
die.
Yeah, you think so?
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a massive body count in this.
Do you think
season.
the Deep kills her? Because he's mad.
I don't think the deep kills anybody.
Damn.
I don't think the deep does anything.
They need to do that because that would be the funniest. Like,
I think the deep falls off a cliff and dies.
Yeah, or maybe he actually goes into the ocean like he said he was going to, and like, you know.
No, I'm sorry. The deep, as much fun as it is to have him around, the deep cannot survive this. He has to go.
Yeah, that's true. He does.
He sucks.
To die.
He has to go.
Terrible person. Terrible.
He has to go.
That's really funny.
Honestly, like, I wouldn't mind if it was Homelander.
I could see him
because I love how much the deep is just the biggest kiss ass to Homelander to the degree where he was going to give A-Train a blowjob because Homelander told him. That moment where Homelander was like, "Get the fuck up!" I was like, "What is wrong with you people? You're all a bunch of idiots." It's so funny.
I forgot about that. That was pretty good. Yeah, the deep is probably going to
Homelander.
He's going to die in a joking way.
Yeah. But the whole season, Homelander was just very painfully aware of how like nobody would tell him no. That's why like Sage, they were kind of going for that with his relationship with Sage. But it was funny where he's like, "I'm surrounded by fucking sycophants and just idiots." Like,
which is ironic because like I think like he honestly probably misses Giancarlo Esposito's character.
Oh yeah,
Stan, because Stan
for sure
wouldn't put up with his shit. And I think like again, Homelander has mommy issues, but he's got parent issues where he has no authority figure in his life to tell, and he's a child. He's a fucking child,
Yeah.
So I did like that. Again, let's just talk about Homelander since we kind of talk about him. Collecting your pubes is crazy, guys.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
What the fuck? What are you gonna do? Make a doll out of it?
That's nuts. I don't know.
Maybe.
But
he's a weird guy.
Man, this is such a fucking like. You never would have thought he would have been such a complex character, but they've added so many fucking levels to him. The whole episode when he goes back, quote unquote, home and just fucking tortures those people.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Was horrible, but like one of the best episodes of the season. Because it's just like, oh God. Oh, any scene he's in is like, because he can just snap at any moment. And I think that's what makes like any scene he's in so like, I just can't keep my eyes off it because it's like, what the fuck is gonna happen? He could kill everyone in this room because he fucking felt like it for no reason.
Well, he left the one lady alive.
Yeah,
he left the one lady alive. Yeah.
Oh man.
But man, okay. Well, look, guys, if you're standing, this is a lot of graphic content in this episode. So sorry, listeners, but look, you know what we're talking about. You're standing toe to toe with Homelander, and he tells you to whip your dick out and go to town. Can you do it? Or are you gonna get your nuts lasered off? Your nuts lasered off?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna get my nuts lasered off. I don't know. Because either way it's degrading. And either way I feel like I'm gonna die. So I really don't know. That's a hard decision.
You just really gotta channel your inner like, all right, I want to be watched. Like
that was
we all gonna become watched. Yeah, you gotta get real freaky in about 30 seconds.
That was so nuts. That just that dude. And having then putting the dude in the fucking the oven, the furnace.
Oh, yeah.
I was hoping he wasn't actually going to do it. Every single time, like situations like this happened, I was like, hey, "Please, just don't. For once, just don't kill him."
Yeah, but again, I love the fact that Homegirl came in there and owned his ass until he killed everyone in front of her. But up to that moment, she's not afraid of him, and that's what he needs, and that's why, like, for some weird reason, he did not kill her.
Yeah,
but those poor other people. My God, that was a nuts episode, man.
Like, no wonder he's a fucking psychopath. Like, he grew up like that, and then like I don't know, he was like a lab rat his whole life. So it's a good lesson in good. Parenting.
I mean, that's what made it so interesting when he's like, it all hurt. That's the thing is like when they were testing all these things, it all fucking hurt. Like I felt all of it. It just didn't kill me. And it's like, yeah, I would imagine doing that to a child would be fucking traumatizing.
Right.
Yeah.
As an adult, like, what a bunch of lunatics.
Yeah, you made a monster and then you're mad that he's a monster. It's kind of the whole thing that it's like, this is your fault. Like,
yeah. And you're still doing experiments and shit. It's like, y'all didn't learn.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Should we talk about Butcher real quick? And
his definitely
when did y'all clock that fucking Negan wasn't real? How early on did y'all clock
when it
that?
was revealed?
I was about to say, I was like,
oh, really?
Yeah, I'd say pretty quickly. Because I was like, where the fuck this man come from?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think they did a pretty good job of like kind of shielding it in there with like, oh, they're working with the CIA right now, and like, you know, so it was believable that he.
Oh, like so Devin, you didn't realize it until Butcher realized it, is what you're saying?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I think I really noticed it before then.
No.
I think I clocked it. I think the episode before they revealed it, when he had homeboy one leg in the farm in the barn.
I'm trying to think what.
I think that's where I clocked it.
I definitely
like the episode beforehand. I can't remember.
I definitely didn't when they first like revealed the character, but I feel like it was like the second or third conversation they had that I was like, it's funny that he's always meeting this guy some random place alone and won't tell anybody that he's like trying to help. And I was like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Then I was like, I think because I think there was like one episode between when he was talking to Jeffrey Dean Morgan and then he was talking to his wife that I was like, oh, he just got voices in his head.
That's true.
Like when they showed her after they showed him. I think that was like, oh, I see what's happening here. That is kind of like a Fight Club situation.
That's true. They did reveal that pretty early. So yeah, maybe I should have picked up on it sooner, I'm sure. But,
I mean, it was
a good twist.
I think that was one of the better. I think he has one of the better story arcs, to be honest, in his like fight with death. Because honestly, I think the big reason I was able to clock it as well is because I've been playing Cyberpunk so recently, and that's basically the fucking story of Cyberpunk. It's having something in your head as you get consistently sicker over and over again, and you see that character more often as you get sicker.
That's funny.
So.
Yeah, I mean, it was a clever way to like show, you know, Butcher's turn, like trying to hold on to his last shred of humanity, and then you just got to give in and embrace the villain, which I think will be great to see Butcher in next season. But the only thing I'm questioning is like, where did this like tentacle monster that is in him? Where the fuck did that come from? Was that something left over from last season? Because I don't remember that.
That's what I'm a little confused about too. Because obviously, like they show it where. With the farm animal stuff, there's like a weird parasite in one of the farm animals that Butcher kills that was on 10 V. So in my head, I was like, does this happen to everyone that takes temporary V too long? So like if Huey kept doing it, would he get a weird parasite monster in him?
And
he killed that other guy, Ezekiel. He killed him that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then also
so he had it before the farm.
And then also Newman's child Zoe. Wasn't she a tentacle monster as well?
Kind of, yeah, in her mouth.
I guess.
And I was like, I don't know why they would choose that for her as to be her power and then have other tentacle monsters, right?
Well, it comes out of his chest. Think about that. For her, it's like a mouth thing. Maybe that's.
I think it's supposed to be different, even though I never even thought about that.
Yeah, that's I don't like that characterization if they didn't do that on purpose. I don't know. I guess we'll find out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that'll be a thing they do next season of like, oh, the V's actually, you know, turning people into these kind of mutant kind of things, and you know, maybe that'll be part of the story, but I don't know. I thought it was pretty contrived, but it was, It also was really like way too easy for them to take out Newman after like 2 whole seasons of being like, how do we kill Newman? And then he just took her out so easy.
That's the thing with the boys is like, for some reason, like they don't explain it, but soups can kill other soups just cause. like if MM and fucking Frenchie tied Newman to a thing and sawed her in half, would that kill her? I don't know.
I mean, that was the thing when they were talking about Noir and the Deep. They were like, "Do you know how to kill him? Because I don't fucking know, so we gotta leave." And it's like, well, if Starlight's there, can't she just fucking kill him?
Yeah,
I guess she couldn't use her powers yet at that point. She was still just super strong.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. That was a surprising death, like, Newman's death.
Could he fight Homelander that way? I just don't understand. I needed some more context of like why he had this power. Mm-hmm. Because the whole temp V thing was supposed to kill him. Right. I mean, maybe I must have missed something.
Instead, it gave him a sewage monster.
I think that's weird. Yeah. Weird too, because clearly he took more temp V because his face looks a lot better, so he's back on the V. But it's weird that it's now he has a different power now. Because obviously the first one he had strength and he had laser eyes. But now he has none of that, but he's got a tentacle monster.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Weird. I didn't like the Newman death. Yeah. I thought that was, I know it's supposed to be a shock factor thing. It's supposed to be jarring. And I was like, after all that, he just fucking rips her apart. When everyone else was like, we should forgive and try to talk to her. Yeah. But I was kind of like, she was one of the more interesting characters in her story arc. And maybe they didn't feel like they had anything else to do with her. But it's like part of the fun was supposed to be the crash out that happens after finding out that she was a soup the whole time. We get none of that storyline now because they just fucking killed her. Right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
Agree. I kind of wish that she was still around so that she would have had to deal with like the consequences of her actions.
We were playing into the whole martial law thing this whole time about whether or not Soup should have this like heightened sense of immunity, and part of her being part of that, I thought was going to be the interesting thing. I don't know if maybe they're going to go the martyr route of like she died to try to save you. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
that felt like a wasted opportunity to me.
It for sure, especially I agree 100%. It would have been really good for next season, but
maybe she's not dead. Maybe she'll just come back.
I mean, like that also possible. always is possible.
Kimiko had to get her whole leg chopped off and still.
Oh, what was his name?
Yo, Kimiko is Wolverine level of healing.
Her healing factor
like she can
so quick now.
It's ridiculous. It jumped from season to season.
There were a few times where I was like, okay, is she actually dead now? Like
right.
Did she just die for real?
She gets her neck spun the opposite way, and she's fine. She's fine.
That shapeshifter was OP as hell for no reason.
I really liked the design that she has to like rip her skin off to do. Like I thought that was a really interesting way to do shapeshifting.
Yes, I agree. I thought that was super cool because I wasn't understanding what was happening at first, and then I was like, oh, she turned into the Black Lady.
Yeah. I did honestly that reveal got me. That the fact that she was Starlight, I thought that was cool. Little not upset, but like it would have been interesting if that either happened earlier for multiple episodes or it still continued now. But the fact that it was all resolved in basically one episode,
also,
I was like, oh,
really quick when they reveal how it happened. Like they're at a bar and she just knocked her out in the bathroom or something. Like it's like, how did that happen? Like, when did
I just love how she fucked Huey like 1,000,000 times just for fun.
Said less than 20. Did you guys Did you guys clock immediately
4 days
that she was the shapeshifter, or did that reveal catch you off guard?
I know. I clocked it before.
I knew immediately when she put on the Starlight outfit, and I was like, "That's not Starlight."
Yeah.
Honestly, no. I think I didn't clock it. No, I think about it.
It was weird
I think
because she was being really
revealed.
jolly and like that. Like
she started
at the house when there was like a very tense time.
She was dressing drastically differently. Like she was wearing like really nice dresses, and then the Starlight thing. I was like, she wouldn't want to wear that again. That's not a thing that just would have randomly changed. So that's interesting. No, I did think that was cool. I did like that kind of like who done it kind of situation. So I did think the shapeshifter was cool. I was trying to think. It's like I wonder if it would have been interesting, more or less interesting, if it was any other characters that would have been the shapeshifter other than Starlight.
Yeah, because they only did Starlight. Yeah, if they could have like switched a few more things, like true. Definitely could have played with that more.
I'm just wondering. I'm just trying to think of like, would it have been really funny if it was like, I don't know, Firecracker the whole time was like the shapeshifter or something like that. Or she became the shapeshifter. But I don't know how they would have worked that in there. I don't know.
True.
Yeah. I don't know. It'd be fun. It'd be interesting. A-Train is probably gonna die next season.
Yes, he's got it.
He's getting his arc to being a good guy, which ultimately means death.
And you know what?
But I genuinely liked what they did with him this season. Like, I kind of liked he's mostly because I was like, oh, he's actually wanting to do good. Like when he has his first ever save, because that was one thing we discovered is that none of their saves are real. Yeah. Essentially, they're all fucking fake. Crazy.
It's
insane.
Crazy how fake Vought is. Like that they, it's all performative. Like,
Yeah. So when he first saves MM and that kid looks at him, I was like, that was actually kind of a nice moment. And I thought like that push that A-Train needs. Because then when A-Train comes and saves the boys from Noir and the Deep, and they're like, you're the Leak? And also that was a great moment when Noir flies and they're like, oh, fuck, he can talk and he can fly? But I did like that a lot. So I'll be real interested to see if A-Train is either just going to be in hiding with Ashley, which Ashley, goddamn, poor Ashley.
Also,
what are her powers? Baldness? What's her power going to be?
Yeah, I hate that they made her immediately ugly just because she took it. I was like, God damn it.
Did she use her power at all? I don't think so.
No, we didn't get to see what it is. Yeah, I don't know.
Also, the whole like, oh man, when she was down there in like the Web Weaver, like the Bruce Wayne sex dungeon. That shit
my
was
God.
Hilarious. Like,
oh my God. I forgot that Ashley's a fucking sex fiend.
She was freaky. What is she, a dominatrix?
Yeah, I felt kind of bad when her little boyfriend didn't want to be dommed anymore. He's like, actually, I have an important meeting.
Yeah, I mean that whole thing. Devin, did you ever watch Gen V or no?
I did. No.
Okay, so yeah, that guy is from Gen V. So that was a little
Bruce Wayne guy.
You should watch Gen V.
Yeah,
it has some interesting context now with this. I think it's a better show than this season, personally.
I noticed like the Easter eggs they threw in there with like the newscast of like, oh, this fugitive's still at large or whatever. But man, that whole Web Weaver like plot was it was pretty funny for a minute, but
then it
also
got
very fucked up.
Too much, because it's one of those things. It was like, this went a little too long, and now it's like not cool anymore.
It also went a little too far, where he's like, "Oh, I got to make my own holes." It's like, dude, come on, like that's just too fucked up. Like we can just stick it to like they're a little freaky, you know. Also, the fact that it's like, what do you say the suit smelled like? But it's like that's a huge issue with all super suits. It's like that shit would be dank, and you can't really wash them things like when they're like leather like that.
Oh god, you gotta get them dry cleaned or some shit.
Yeah.
I don't know that was one of the big things that I was talking about the whole arc with the Butcher being like the big thing that I'm glad they brought back with that, to kind of see where that goes. But also they started showing more like characters from Gen V. When they were only kind of like alluding to them in like background stuff, I was like, oh, they're not gonna do anything to make this like a direct tie-in, because one of the big things was like the virus comes from Gen V, like all gets created during that section of the show. So I was like, oh, we're just going to steal that and then like not have it work and then not do anything with it ever again. That's going to be the end of Gen V. When they were like, oh, we got the virus. Shit, we don't have it anymore. I was like, so that's the end of that. I guess we're moving
that's what
on.
I was worried about.
And then they brought it back again. I was like, oh, okay, so we are actually trying to use this as a plot line to move forward. And then they started showing some Gen V characters. Unfortunately, can't show one of them because he did end up passing away. So I guess they're focusing on the blonde-haired girl whose name I can't remember. That can mess with people's minds, make them do stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, that could, because her and the other kid were the only two that quote unquote
defected,
became villains, and decided to they're now part of the evil side, or I guess I would say.
Right. Yeah. So I was excited to see them, but I was excited to see her more in the end and have her be like a pinnacle, like portion of like what's happening next. Because at first I thought they were just gonna be like, hey, Gen V was a thing anyway. So.
But that's my big thing is like, I don't know how Gen V continues past the boys when it ends.
Exactly.
If these characters would be in season 5, like you can't kill them, but like, what do you? I don't understand. Like, so like, because in my head, if the world continues post the boys ending, like they have stuff that's set in and there's still wild antics, I don't know how I'll feel about that. I don't know if I'd care as much. You know what I mean?
If it doesn't feed into anything anymore, I don't know that it would still have that same. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, definitely not.
Trying to think. I guess. So the virus. Think things that could happen in the next season. I'm excited for the virus stuff. And will Butcher be the main villain? Will he? I mean, Butcher's probably going to die.
He's gonna die. I think after becoming good and like defeating his little demons or whatever. And then
because now he's full bad at the moment, which is good for the show though, because it's better when Butcher's Butcher. But yeah,
Soldier Boy come back, maybe.
Soldier Boy, excited to see Soldier Boy come back. You know, Homelander's he found his daddy. How the hell is that gonna happen? You know, what's gonna happen there? Because if Soldier Boy ends up siding on with Homelander, which who knows, that is a deadly combo. Like, what do they do with that? What could they do? Yeah. I will say, like, as much as the season kind of meandered at times, I like the finale was great. Mainly, I did on the opposite side of things, like Devin, I did like the montage mostly because I think that Nirvana song really worked with that montage, and fucking Butcher just driving with the virus into the distance to nowhere. I was like, okay, I'm psyched. I'm ready. All the boys are like, it seemed like everyone was having a nice ending, and then everyone gets fucking captured, and it's like, oh shit. Stakes are high now. Okay. Starlight fucking flies. She got her groove back, I guess. She just flies away. I like it. We'll see what happens there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited though. I think any last minute things. R.I.P. to Tilda Swinton voicing the fucking octopus that the deep was fucking.
Man.
That was another really stupid joke that I was like, this was like a Rick and Morty joke of her just continuing being like, I'm dying, no. And he's like, oh, finally last breath. I'm still alive and I love you. And I was like, okay, all right. We're feeling very Family Guy right now. Jesus Christ.
Oh, I guess this is one last thing we didn't talk about. What the hell do we think Ryan's gonna do?
I don't know if it's me just not liking child actors. He's the cringy as fuck.
Yeah, he wasn't very good. His voice was like way too, every time he talked, I was like, your voice is that high?
I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with Ryan. Will Ryan kill his Homelander? Will Ryan kill Butcher?
Dude, what if he has to do a 1v2 against Soldier Boy and Homelander? They'd probably just rip him in half.
Yeah, I would like if they gave him like a Gohan kind of level power up where he's just like the really, really strong kid, and because he's like a kid, he's just unruly with his ability, which they're kind of already alluding to with him continuously killing people by accident. But like he finds out he's like stronger than Homelander, that would be kind of cool.
Right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. We'll see what the hell happens with that. Yeah.
He just also gets tentacle monsters like everybody else.
Yeah.
Well, he's got all the powers of Homelander, right? So could be interesting.
It could be.
But yeah, they absolutely did not resolve that yet, because I thought they would resolve that one way or another this season, where it's like, okay, he's going to follow in Homelander's footsteps, or he's going to become a pure good guy. And they definitely like hinted at both ways. Like there were moments
I hated how much that kid flip flopped. There was a time where he's like, "Oh, he's going good," and then one thing would happen, and he's like, "I want to murder everyone." I'm like, "What is going on?"
Or like he started toying with people like Homelander does. Like, I think you should get down on your knees. Like
that was
like you need to apologize to her. Like just stuff like that, where it's like, okay, which way is he going to go here? And they haven't answered it yet, so jury's still out.
I have a note here saying, "Is Jack Quaid a good actor?" I'm not sure what that's about. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of pretty much it. Again, we kind of talked about it, and which is ironic. The show has a Comic-Con moment in this where they're like, "These are all the phases, I love the MCU of the VOT series."
That was funny.
They're making fun of it, and yet they're also announcing spin-offs for this show. So I'm like, what are y'all are doing some fun stuff here, guys. Okay.
Fake as hell.
It was funny though, because they did like a zoomed in version of like those, and they all were like a direct parody of something in the MCU. Like,
Oh, I know. I wrote down a couple of them. I thought there's like G-Men 2, G-Men Days Past from the Future, shit like that. Yeah, that was pretty. Yeah, I think my favorite were the Starlight or the Firecracker ones. She has one like called Firecracker, Lord Soldier, Heaven's Miracle, God Help Me, and then the last one is A Christmas Wish. So I thought that was very funny.
I mean, that was funny. That was legitimately funny.
For sure.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, obviously there's a lot more there, but like that's the gist of it. We'll see how this all wraps up and ends. I hope unlike this season, since they know it's the end, they just put it all out there.
Yeah.
Do it all.
Go crazy.
Like, hell yeah. I'm excited to see what the fuck is going to happen with Homelander. Will he be president? I don't know. And yeah, Homelander v. Butcher. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen there? But I think that's pretty much it, boys. Speaking of the boys.
Boys. No, I'm the defector. I'm the Butcher.
Brian's got a tentacle monster inside him.
I mean.
Alrighty, that is The Boys season 4, listeners. Excited for season 5 whenever that comes out. But in the meantime, guys, shall we now quickly head into our final segment of the week?
Let's do it.
Which we like to call Free for All. Title pending. This is a segment, listeners. We can kind of do whatever we want. Talk about a day, talk about life, fight, rant. It is free for all. I can very quickly go to the next because mine's very short. I haven't had much time this week to do much. But I did do one thing. And I don't like the timing of it, but I'm just going to be honest and say it. Guys, and I will say I did this prior to my knowledge of what happened this week. I finally bought stuff for Destiny 2.
No! That money's not going to them anymore.
I spent about $9 because everything was 85% off. So I now own, I think, all of the expansions to Destiny 2 now.
Awkward.
I was missing only a couple because I know, right? I was like, no, now I feel a little bad. But because Sony had like given them out, a couple of them out for free on PlayStation Plus. So I already own like half of them, and so I just bought the last ones, the last like 3 for like $9. I haven't had a chance, but like I unlocked some cool guns and whatever. I don't know, but nice. I feel bad.
That's really fucking funny. Is Destiny crossplay? I don't have any space on my computer right now. But it's
yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Is it?
I bet it is. Yeah.
I had it on my computer for a little bit, and then I played it once. Then I was bored, so I didn't. Cause I was playing with myself, and I deleted it.
Yeah,
but it's like that might be a game that could be fun for us to try to play together. But
yeah,
it might not exist for much longer. So
that'd be so awkward. That would be so awkward. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I haven't had a chance to play. I played a little bit. I got a couple more chapters of Final Fantasy VII done, so I think I'm halfway through hard mode, and I'm working my way.
God, that sounds so miserable.
I'm working my way, but it's honestly, it's not bad. It's going by fairly quickly. I just haven't had time to actually play it, so I'll play like an hour every 4 days.
I'm kind of mad that they kind of fucked up the hype train for us PC players because I don't even it's been so long since it's come out now that I don't even care anymore.
About Final Fantasy?
Yeah, it's been too long. I was hoping it was going to come out right at June, right? And I'm sure I get excited again once they finally announce it, but it was now that it's July, August, I'm like, well, I guess I'm not getting it this year, so I don't fucking care.
Right. No, that definitely makes a lot of sense. That makes sense, yeah. So that's me. And as usual, shout out to God of War Ragnarok. Who's next?
I can go again real quick, just because I also played a game I bought, which I'll probably play after we finish this. I bought Supermarket Simulator over the weekend.
What the fuck is that, Brian? Wait, so first, how much money did you play into this?
It was $12.
Oh my god!
So it's more than 18 expansions of Destiny 2. But
that's insane.
I saw a streamer play it, or I saw a TikTok of a streamer playing it, and I was like, this looks exactly like the kind of game that I would want to play. Because sometimes you need something that's just really low stakes. And I've been playing so much Cyberpunk, and that game's so heavy and story driven, all that kind of stuff that I was like, I want something that's just kind of turn your brain off for a little bit in between that.
That's
because Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty has been currently crashing my game over and over again, so I'm trying to figure out how to rectify that.
Oh no.
Yeah, but this game is so fucking stupid, but I love it. I love it. You just own your own little supermarket. It's the size of a studio apartment at first, and you sell 4 fucking things like pasta, sugar, flour, and water or something like that. And you just gotta make your little supermarket prices. You can name your supermarket, change what it looks like, all this other stuff.
Oh, and you can upgrade what you're selling and stuff.
That's also cool. Since I own it and I live in a random New York bodega or something, I also run the cash register. And eventually you can hire a cashier, but it's right now I don't really have a need to. But it's kind of fun because you have to scan all the items and run the credit card and stuff just a normal.
That it's so funny.
So it's so funny because I'll be stocking shelves and then someone will go to the thing. I'm like, oh, one second. Oh, what's that? $39.85. Okay, go. Have a great day. Good to see you. All right, I'm back to stock shelves.
I love how we play games that are just jobs.
It's just
have another job.
It's just
we're just working for free now.
I paid above minimum wage to work a minimum wage job.
Eventually they'll have bots at Harris Theater, and Brian will be able to just pilot a bot.
We talked about that, did we not?
Life.
You will get paid $15 an hour to work at the IKEA in Roblox. Did we not talk about that?
It's incredible.
What?
We'll have to talk about that another time.
My God.
They have a thing right now where you can actually get a job inside Roblox, and it pays pretty well.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
We live in
this
society.
Is the future.
But yeah, that's all I really have. It's a fun game. It's a fun little stupid game that I've been enjoying so far, and I look forward to putting more random hours into it for no reason.
That's really funny.
This is why Bungie's going under, because you paid $12 for that, and I paid $9 for this.
I gotta stock with this. I gotta stock some shells and
listen, that shit gets serious when you get a rush, and they be like, "Oh, you don't have any more cheese," and I'm like, "Fuck, I don't have any more cheese. I gotta order some." You gotta pay bills in that game. It's crazy.
Oh my god,
you can get a loan.
Oh my god,
you're literally just running a business, man. This is
capitalism.
I'm currently in debt in that game. So I want to buy a refrigerator
for all of us.
We're in the red. We're gonna get in the black.
Oh my god.
That's funny.
That's so funny. I love that.
I don't have much. Just I've been, watching Olympics like crazy. I love the Olympics. Every time they come around, global cooperation. Love that the Russians aren't here this time. Fuck the Russians.
Damn.
No medals for you, bitch. Anyway.
God damn. All right.
There was just some highlights for you. The iconic shot of LeBron being the flag bearer on the boat.
Oh.
People were comparing it to George Washington crossing the Trenton. Also, talk about the team that must have the lowest stress at the Olympics. It's the U.S. men's basketball team. Even if you don't play well, it's okay. You just get benched. You're going to get a gold medal. that we're so stacked. We are so stacked. It's got to be the lowest pressure team of any of the teams out there, because like just by in autopilot, you could probably win a gold medal. But anyway, Simone Biles, greatest of all time. Katie Ledecky, greatest of all time.
Simone Biles is crazy. Like we talk about like generationally being the best. She is the best in history. Like, and we're just lucky to be able to see that happen.
I have such a new appreciation for gymnastics after this year, but like, yeah, she is next level. Just insane amounts of like
the fact that she's the first. I was just gonna say the fact that she's the first person to win the all around that's over the age of 20 is insane.
And what is she like 28? Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
That is
crazy. Everyone else has either been like 17, 18, 19, whatever, and it's like, yeah.
I heard you talking about Devin about her vertical, how she can jump like 12 feet. She's my girlfriend's height. It's like 4'9", real small.
Yeah.
Imagine Rachel
they were
jumping
her stats
into the sky.
Some of her like things to like the men. She does bet like higher and crazier stuff than men in gymnastics. I mean, which maybe that's not even surprising, because like maybe women are just, you know, I do think gymnastics is one of those things where the women's stuff is. The men's stuff is impressive too, but the women's stuff is like cooler to watch.
The men's stuff is so strength based, and theirs is so I don't know. But yeah, it's
kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah. Either way. Oh, I watched some archery. South Korea, fucking amazing at archery, like team events. It was only a question of like, there's like the bullseye zone. So there's like 8s and 7s are like red, and then outside of that, nobody's shooting that. But like the bullseye zone is like the smallest, right? So you can get a 9 or a 10. And most of the time, South Korea, every event, they're just shooting 10s, like all the time. I don't know. I just love the Olympics. I love the random sports. Handball, not a serious sport. I think you legitimately think that Americans can win handball pretty easily if we put like a few retired NFL people in that, or like MLB people. But
hilarious.
Oh, one more note: 3v3 basketball is an event this time.
Yeah.
They are awful.
We suck at it.
Here's my take.
We're eliminated.
We take the 3 bottom players from our 5v5 teams from the WNBA and the NBA. Take the bottom 3 players that you brought with you to Paris and just put them in 3v3. Because
they don't want to play that shit.
but like the people that were playing 3v3, I don't know how they play basketball, because there were multiple games I watched. Like I just would have like it'd just be on. They shoot air balls and shit. Like,
I mean,
these people are not good basketball players.
That's what's kind of funny about the Olympics. You see the boxing thing? There's a whole debacle about that. We don't have to get into. But the woman that got punched in her face 46 seconds in, and she was like, "This is the hardest I've ever been punched." We're in the Olympics. These were the hardest punchers to exist. It's the Olympics. What do you mean?
Yeah, no shit.
That shit pissed me off so bad. What do you mean? Of course it's hard. She got punched. We're in the punching competition.
Yeah.
There was a great meme.
These are the best of the best punchers in the world.
There was a great meme of like people like raising money for that Italian boxer, and it's like, what are we going to use the money for? And then somebody commented like boxing lessons. Like
that was the first time apparently she's quit before. So I'm like, baby girl, maybe this isn't your sport. Perhaps archery.
Wait, she quit?
What? Yeah,
she quit.
Yeah, she quit at 46 seconds. She called it. She went back to the
She just said, "I'm
just because she got."
Literally, the other woman hit her in the face maybe twice, and she was like, "Whoa, fuck this."
I'm out of here. Like, oh my god, she's trans. Like,
yeah. It became a whole debacle.
Who's from Algeria, by the way. Do you think?
Oh, I see.
You think they like trans people?
The Italian lady got hit twice. She's like, "This got to be a dude." She hits hard as fuck.
Oh
Jesus Christ!
It's like it's literally a woman. That was literally just a really, really strong woman.
Yeah, like sorry that she's strong and you're not.
Got your ass kicked.
God, people are fucking stupid. But anyway,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, it is sad to see like when that stuff like that happens. It's like you go to the best of the best, and you're nowhere near the level of the person who's actually the best. Like I just watched some dude, not some dude. Actually, there was a dude, the reigning like Cuban wrestler, just like easily toppling people in wrestling, and like the same thing with one of our I think this is her first Olympics, the U.S. women's wrestler whose name I don't remember. She dominated her opponent so fast. Like I didn't know this. She got 10 points doing one in like 12 seconds immediately, and you get it. If you get 10 points over on the other opponent, you get an automatic win for being for proficiency. Like you just because you're better. They're just like, we're calling it. You win automatically. She won immediately. It was hilarious. was like, God damn, train that far and just be like, I'm nowhere near the level of this person.
I mean, wasn't there like a synchronized diving team or like some kind of diving team from an Asian country? It might have been like Taiwan or something that was like, they didn't prepare. They just brought like some random people and they were fucking terrible. And it's hilarious.
Really?
You have to look up the videos from it. I can't remember what Olympics is from. It might have been like 2016 or something, but they were so bad and it was so fucking funny because it's like, we just wanted to send somebody, right? Like,
yeah.
But they gotta be at a certain level to make the Olympics now. I feel like you can't just send, not every country can send like synchronized diving if you don't have it.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah. So we're number 1 in the medal count right now.
Apparently the Filipino diving team was really bad.
Ah, there you go.
Interesting.
Yeah. But anyway, love the Olympics. Love to see it. Good stuff always.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty fun stuff in there. All right, listeners, that is free for all, which means that is the end of the episode. We've done it once again. You can email us at thefortress@gmail.com. Fourtress spelled FOUR. Feel free to email us any questions, feedback, recommendations, or anything like that. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram and the YouTube channel at the Fourtress of. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandma, tell your cat. Follow the 3 Bollywood R's. Rate, review, and recommend us to anyone and everyone you know. Thank you, Jackie, for helping edit the podcast every week. Thank you, Brian, for the art, Alex for the music, and Devin, thank you for being here even when you're not here. You can find Brian on Instagram at ITZ_, by the way, Alex at Peterson Films, and Devin, find him, just watching the Olympics.
Watching Gold Zone, baby. Peacock. One note, okay? NBC.
No free ads.
Best job for
He
sports.
said no free ads.
Great.
Hashtag not
does a pretty
sponsored.
good job. Between them, ABC, Fox, and CBS, I think NBC does a really good job. Gold Zone on Peacock, it just takes you around to every gold medal event. It's incredible.
Well, there you go, listeners. For those 5 people that got Peacock, there you go.
Oh,
all
I have
right,
a year
listeners.
subscription.
God damn. Well, you'll get to watch this next season of Bel Air.
Yeah, don't be jealous. Okay, it's better over here. Right? Have I watched the Peacock original show? Absolutely not. But
I have.
Wait, you didn't watch fucking Twisted Metal, Devin?
I actually watched the first episode, and then I
completely forgot about that show. Thank you for reminding me.
You're welcome.
Very, very quickly did not finish that episode. So.
Next week, listeners, I don't know. Maybe we'll be here for House of the Dragon Season 2. Maybe it'll be something else. But either way, we'll be here. We'll chat about some fun stuff. And as usual, listeners, happy holidays and put a coat on. It's cold out there.
Yeah, I'll be
raining.
diving in the pool because it's actually hot and I don't know how to dive, so I'm like the Filipino team.
All right, listeners. We'll see you next week on another episode of The Fourtress of...
This shit is so funny. They're so bad.